Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, in our lives. Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Nam, and joining me in everything is my life partner, Minna and I.
So, we're talking about change today, right?
Yes, we are talking about change today.
So let's start something different. What if you change the first two lines that you say every time with the show?
What do I change?
What if you change it?
What if I change it? If I change it, it would be uncomfortable because I've been saying the same two lines for the last 3 years.
And you probably go back to the old one, right?
So, that is perfect segue because, we're going to have a positive intelligence coach later on today. But, me and Minna, we're really excited. We're just talking with Christy, our co-host. And today we're celebrating 3 years. This is going to be our last episode for season 3 of the Chronically Healthy Life Show.
This is season 3, and we've been doing it for a while. And when we first started, we didn't know if it's going to take off or not. So it looks like it's working for us.
Yeah. There's more and more people. It's lives getting changed. People are asking questions. It feels good to start helping people make a difference.
It feels good to help people make a change.
Exactly. So since we're talking about change, Minna, here's the $1 million question that we're gonna ask everyone today. On the last episode of season 3. Why do most of us resist change, even when we know that very thing is going to help us grow?
Well, then the $1 million answer is, if you give me $1 million, I would change. It's a matter of motivation, right? If you're changing for the better, you know that it's going to change for the better, then you're willing to take the risk. And some people are more risk takers like us. Sometimes it doesn't work out for us. And some people are more risk averse. They might not take the $1 million because they don't want to change. So every person is different, but there's motivation in making changes.
That's funny you talk about the $1 million because, of course, I'm a longevity coach, and one of the things I do, I'm a personal trainer too, that I train clients and everything. And whenever I learn a new exercise, I'm always excited to share it. And even for me, if it's something new, it's freakishly hard. Right. But when I show my clients, he said, wow, you can do it because you're a personal trainer. And I think if you knew how it was 10 years ago, barely walking and getting out of bed, you would not be saying the same thing. Right. So a lot of people, they're not willing to make that change without knowing how much better their lives are going to be. Right. Like for me, I had to make a change, or, more than likely we wouldn't be in the show, and I'll be living alone in some senior assisted living facility. I'm sorry. I just, uncomfortable truth.
Well, unfortunately, it's a reality. A lot of people, they would not make a change unless they have to make a change. It's a life and death situation. I use my brother as an example for a long time. He has diabetes for a long time.
Yes.
He could have changed his lifestyle for 10 years until it got to the point that you can't really do anything about it anymore, right?
Yeah. Do you still remember what he said? Like, it was like 6 years ago when I was trying to say, we're out having dim sum, and he was saying, oh, how bad his blood sugar is and how bad all the medication making him feel. And I said, well, why don't you try eating more vegetables? I didn't even tell him to go full vegetarian or vegan. I said, just try eating more vegetables. And he says, I'd rather die than eat just vegetables. And 6 years later now, he had needed a kidney transplant, and now he's got the kidney transplant, but now he's on more drugs than he ever been before. And now he's complaining about drugs again, even though with a new kidney, right? So like, he's still complaining, but like you said, just 10 years ago, if he just made the change, but his diet is way better now, and he is eating vegetables.
Because now you have to.
Exactly.
Right?
Because he has to.
A lot of people, that is like the reality. They have to make a change, otherwise they just won't do it. And the half part, I guess, is almost like in death, like life and death, right? And if you don't do this, you'll die.
Right? Exactly. And I think when it comes to making changes, resisting change, like I was talking to Todd about this a little early in the show, we always like to chat it up with our hosts, with our guests. And, change, positive mindset, everything is not just about health, of course, right? We talk about a chronically healthy life. You want to be having a healthy mind, but your finances, your relationships, and even your friendships, right? I think it's all so important on how your mindset is, and like I said, so many people are so resistant for change, for the extra step, and how life can be better in so many different areas.
If there's one thing I think is universal, I think it's the resistance to change. Is the one thing that everybody needs to change is to get rid of the excuses.
Correct.
Right. It's the excuses is what's pulling them back. Right. They're so happy with the excuses that they don't figure they don't need to change, because you're a trainer. Of course you can do this.
Exactly.
All sorts of excuses. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too fat. All sorts of excuses. There's always someone worse than you, but then can do better than you.
Oh yeah, that have their lives changed completely over. We've seen that in our lives so many times. And like I said,
and we see it in our show, right? You have one guest that has no hands, with three fingers.
Oh yeah,
and she's a chef.
And she's a chef, and she is a personal chef. Like, she actually cooks for people, and that was really amazing.
Right, she's amazing. We have another chef in Houston. She's blind.
Yes,
and she won Master Chef one of the seasons, and she has our favorite burger joint.
Exactly. The 6x6, right?
There you go.
It's called the 6-pack, by the way, and it's 6 patties and 6 pieces of cheese, and it's like this big, and I have that once a month. That's my keto burger, just thing, and I haven't had a heart attack yet.
So change is uncomfortable, but you're always in a situation that you can make the change.
Exactly.
Right? Someone else is always make worse than you, and someone else will always be able to make the change. So why can't you?
Exactly. And, I think when it comes to talking about change, right, there's going to be a lot of golden nuggets we're going to learn today from Todd. Like me and Minna, we're just talking about it, and we're just very excited to see what type of tips he's going to share tonight. Because, like I said, we're celebrating our last episode of season 3. We're not stopping at season 3. Season 4 starts next week. But of course, we want to challenge all our viewers over these last 3 years. What has changed for you? And if there was something that could make your life so much better, what's holding you back? Maybe after tonight's show, it's going to be that little added inspiration to help you take that first step and take action.
Speaking of change, we have masterclass coming up.
Yes, we do.
Why don't you tell the viewers about it?
Yes, I was going to tell them about that later. But yes, we have a masterclass coming up. It's going to be coming up on September 19th and 20th, and then 26th and 27th. This is coming up. I'm so excited. It's 1-year anniversary for our Chronic Health Collective coaches. There's 14 of us, but we are going to be having each of us a 30-minute masterclass teaching what we specialize in. So this is going to be amazing. 12 different areas of life that you can improve upon, and it's going to be all free. And if you sign up, we'll be putting on the code on there for you to check it out. But if you sign up, you can watch us all free, and there's going to be like a lot of giveaways, and there's going to be discounts on programs. But what's more exciting is we have 11 other guests that are changing the world that we'll be interviewing on the show. And it's, like I said, it's a live masterclass coming up September 19th, 20th, 26th, and 27th. But we'll give you more information with that soon.
So if you're looking to change, definitely sign up for the masterclass class.
All right. We'll see you right back.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy for improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that could support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. I would like to welcome today our special guest, Todd Bertsch. He is a dynamic keynote speaker, entrepreneur, positive intelligence mental fitness coach, and host of The Bolt podcast. As the founder and CEO of Evolve Marketing, with over 16 years of leadership experience, Todd blends real-world business insight with powerful storytelling drawn from his own journey of personal transformation. His talks, grounded in the positive intelligence framework, equip audiences with practical tools to rewire their thinking, overcome self-doubt, and embrace a growth mindset. Todd also serves as president of Leadership Akron's Signature Class 39 and is a committed advocate for community and personal growth. His mission is clear: to help leaders embrace change with clarity, lead with purpose, and live more meaningful, fulfilling lives. Welcome, Todd. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you for having me, Christy. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. Well, our topic today is This Is Your Time to Shine. So how do we shine? How do we start? What's the first thing you think we have to do to start to shine in our own lives?
Yes, the gift of change. I love the title, the gift of change. And that's how we need to see it, right? So we're talking about a lot about change, and Andy and them set it up for me. So we're at the last episode, right? Congratulations. The last episode, which is about to change into season 4. Mm-hmm. And we're headed into the fall season. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you live. I live in the Midwest, so it's absolutely beautiful. But we are about to hit a literal change in season. So it's a good time to reflect and do a life audit, if you will. But let's be honest, change is scary, right? Change is scary, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen, whether we want to or not. I don't care who you are, where you live, what you do for a living, change is going to happen. And we are living in a society, especially in the workforce, where it's a disruption of change. So you either need to get on board with it or you're going to be a really unhappy person, right?
That is so true. I think a lot of it is fear. It's, it's just like, oh, I'll just stay in my little hidey hole and I won't look at any of that.
Yep.
So what happens when the fear starts to, you want to make a change in your life and it's like,
right. And that's just it. So yeah. And change is basically all based on fear, right? Mm-hmm. So we know the change is coming and like Andy said earlier, we know that it leads to growth. So there are these things that are going to happen and we know there's some positive results that are going to happen, but it's still there. So it's fear. So what do we do? Mm-hmm. So, and why do we resist change? Because of a fixed mindset, which I'll talk about in a minute. Fear of kind of the comfort in our routines, right? We get comfortable. It's all based on our life is dictated by habits and patterns, right? So we get into that, what I call the default mode. We hit that default button. And I'll talk about that in a minute with the fixed mindset. And then it goes back to our fear of failure and our fear of unknowns. So essentially what it comes down to is fear. But here's the thing about fear that most people don't know, or maybe they know but have forgotten, is it's not our fault. It's not our fault. Fear is just based on our survival brain. It's evolutionary. That's how we were built, right? Fear tells us that we might be in harm's way. So fear can be a good thing and we need it. But here's the trick, Christy. Fear is only a signal. So what we talk about in the positive intelligence program is imagine your hand over a hot stove. You're only going to have it there for a second, long enough to know that you're in harm's way. But if you hold it out there long enough, you're going to burn your hand, right?
Right.
And just like fear, negative emotions and thoughts, if you hold on to those long enough, they will start to sabotage your relationships, your performance, and your well-being. So yes, fear is there. Change is scary, but it's just a signal. And we can't let it hold on to us.
Yeah, it's kind of like, from the old caveman days, the big saber-toothed tiger is coming at you. You're going to have some fear. But the change is run away. Get into a safe place.
Right. Absolutely.
So let's dive into what you just said about the reset button and the yeah.
So that all comes into everything is based on a mindset, and so I am a mental fitness coach, mindset coach, and everything is based on our mindset. And our mindset is a set of beliefs about ourselves, our lives, and the whole world around us, and it influences how we think, act, feel in every situation. Our mindset is an accumulation of every experience in our life from the time we were born to this very moment. So all of those life experiences, all the people in our lives, our parents, our teachers, our mentors, our leaders, our managers, all of these people have, either in a good or a bad way, had an influence on our mindset. So our mindset, we talk about glasses. Those are the lenses, right, through which we see the world. Unfortunately, a lot of people will carry those outdated beliefs their whole life, and they never change their lens. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you wear glasses. Many people do. I do for certain things. I need to get those things updated every year or every other year. I'm not wearing the same glasses my entire life, right? So you need to change. You need to be open enough to change your lens. And it all comes back to a mindset. So I'll talk through real quick, Christy, two different mindsets, because I think it's important to understand kind of the background here before we go into how we can do it. So there's two different mindsets, and this is based off the amazing Carol Dweck and her work. She's the author of the book Mindset, and she's also has an amazing TED Talk. Look her up. She's a professor at Stanford. But what she did in her work is she basically said there's two different mindsets. There's a fixed mindset, and in a fixed mindset, we're going to avoid challenges. We're going to refuse any feedback or criticism. We're going to give up easily, and we're going to stick to our old methods. That's the default button. And what is that essentially? It's a comfort zone. Comfort, cozy, complacent, right?
Familiar.
Familiar, and we're not open to change. On the flip side, the other mindset is a growth mindset. And in a growth mindset, we're going to embrace opportunities. We're going to want feedback. We're going to go after it. Tell me, I want to learn. What am I doing wrong? How could I be better? Right? And we never give up. We just keep fighting. We keep trying. And we always get out of our discomfort zone, right? Because we know that discomfort is where real growth happens. So we have a fixed, which is our comfort zone, and a growth mindset, which is our discomfort zone. So what do we want to do? We want to shift. We want to shift, right? Because most of us, because of fear and because it's scary, we stay in a fixed mindset. And 75% of the world is in a fixed mindset. And they just continue, right? We continue on, we get complacent, and we just never move that needle. But we can. It's simple. It's really simple. So one of the things that I say is we all had curiosity. That is, to me, that is the correlation between getting into a growth mindset and staying there. So I mapped my life out on what I call a mindset continuum. And I was really trying to figure out where was the correlation? Why was I in a fixed mindset, and how did I get out, and why did I stay in a growth mindset? And it was curiosity. And here's the thing, as a child, right, we all started in a growth mindset. So if you can visualize this continuum, growth up here, fixed below the line, we were up here in a growth mindset because that's all we knew. We were just failing and learning and growing, right?
Right.
And imagine yourself 5-7 years old. You know, you're walking around, you're on the playground, you're open to all of life's possibilities. There's no judgment. You don't care. There's no fear of failure. You're just doing, you're exploring, right? You're like an anthropologist. So we all had that natural curiosity. And that's what I tell people is, look, just because you might be in a fixed mindset, now you can get out. You can get out. You can change your trajectory. You can zoom right up above the line and get into a growth mindset. You just need to be open and curious. Ask that question. What if? What else might be true? Don't make the assumptions. We all had curiosity. To me, that is the simplest, easiest way, and it's our biggest superpower as human beings. And we just happen to lose it, right? It's that spark. And that's why I say, ignite your spark. That spark is that curiosity tapping into your inner child.
I think we've got educated out of it. We're told to sit down, shut up, and do what we're told. And that is a curiosity killer. So awaken your curiosity. And also, don't you think that it's okay to start small, like like something easy, maybe that's not so threatening?
Yes. And that's the key, really. That is the whole key to this, is to get 1% better every day. And this is where a lot of people falter, is because the fear of change, the fear of discomfort, because we are in a society where nobody wants to endure any pain, right? So just think about climate, for instance. You're the environment that you're in, climate, right? We change, right? We change the heat and the cooling, right? We never get uncomfortable. That's not how we were born. That's not how we evolved, right? We're used to being outdoors and enduring all of these things and experiencing discomfort. So we've isolated ourselves, and we've isolated our kids from discomfort. So we're afraid of anything that's different, anything that's new, which is change. So we just need to be open enough to say, you know what? And I'll be the first to tell you, change is scary, but it can be beautiful and transformational. I've done it. I've done it. I was addicted to drugs for years when I was in high school. And I moved in with a couple guys when I was 21, and I got beat to a pulp. I almost died. I could barely get out of the house alive. My two roommates just beat me up. And at that moment, I had two roads, right? I could continue to stay in a fixed mindset, doing what I was doing, living in a fog with no path, no direction, or I could take a different path, embrace growth, embrace change, see it as an opportunity, see it as a gift. And that's what I did. So I went from the bottom of the barrel and I shot all the way up to the top. And I just continued, right? Continued to stay up there. It all just takes curiosity and being open to it and saying, what if I did something different? What is the worst thing that could happen? I was already at the freaking bottom.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You were at a position of, what if I didn't die here? What if I left and it got better?
Right. And unfortunately, Christy, and that's what Minna was saying at the beginning of the show is, unfortunately, most people will not engage in change unless they experience a traumatic event or near life death experience. Right. Unfortunately, it takes something like that to say, oh man, okay, I need to change. My life is in jeopardy. Or, somebody very close that, maybe has had a terminal disease or has passed away. And you're like, that could happen to me. So maybe I should make some change. What I'm trying to do in my practice is say, look, let's not wait for that, guys. Yeah. Let's not wait for that. Let's just go be curious and try to get 1% better. 1% better each day is equivalent to a little under 15 minutes a day. A little under 15 minutes will be 1% better every single day.
You could apply that to anything. You could say, okay, just 1% better today. Yesterday I walked for half an hour. Today I'm going to walk 45 minutes. Or yesterday I spent an hour working on writing my book, and today I'm going to spend an hour and a half, or anything like that. You can get 1% better on any little thing and move the needle.
That's it. And that's all, Chrissy, we're trying to do. And I don't know if you're familiar with Atomic Habits. If your audience, I would definitely check out that book by James Clear, New York Times bestseller. It's all about how to build new habits, break bad habits. But what he says is just start. So if you want to start walking or running, first thing, just set your shoes out by the door. First thing. It doesn't take much effort, right? And then the next day, put the shoes on. And then the next day, take a couple steps. It's just gradual, right? Because people feel like change is so overwhelming and it's going to take years and I'll never get there. No, start small. We call it just small shifts. It's just one thing. And I tell you, once you create that new habit, it only takes 3 weeks, 21 days to create a new habit. And once you do, you start to build that momentum, right? And you get that compounding effect. And then you get a little dopamine hit. And you're like, ooh, this feels good. I can actually do this. And then I start building a new habit. And now I'm journaling. And now I got a gratitude practice. And now I'm meditating. Next thing you know, you're chronically healthy machine, but you got to start. That's the thing. You just got to start. And it doesn't need to be overwhelming, guys. Just one thing, small shifts, and start to build that momentum and celebrate the win. The fact that you guys are watching this show on a Friday night, celebrate that. Seriously, like you could be doing a lot of other things. That is a win. We have to quit beating up on ourselves.
You're right. And on that note, we're going to come back and go deeper into that after this. Stay tuned.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science, at longevity, at exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. the light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Imagine a life where every day is fueled by energy, vitality, and purpose. Where age is just a number and your best years are always ahead. Hi, I'm Andy Nam, certified functional nutrition longevity coach, best-selling author, and international speaker. After reversing my own chronic health struggles, I'm now on a mission to help you live longer, stronger, and of course, to look younger. I combine biohacking, cutting-edge nutrition, and stem cell technology to unlock your body's full potential. So no matter where your starting point is, I'm going to guide you toward a chronically healthy life. Ready to reverse aging and take control of your future? Connect with me today. Your journey to longevity starts here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. We're here with our guest, Todd Bertsch, and we are just about to dive into some strategies to make change into something, well, a mind shift, actually, into making change more of a strategic thing rather than a overwhelming everything has to be done in one day thing. So, Todd, we were just getting into that when the break happened.
We were just getting knee deep, Christy.
So what you gave the idea about if you want to start walking, just put your shoes and baby step it every day.
Yep.
So let's say we want to make a more like a change that's more internal. For example, communicating, I'm just going to make something. Communicating with our spouse or our children in a more effective way that doesn't lead to fighting in the home.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you. I'm going to zoom back just a little bit and go into positive intelligence because I feel like that is the framework. So as you said at the top of the show, I'm a mental fitness coach. And I'm a mental fitness coach in the program called Positive Intelligence. There's a book by Shirzad Chamine. You can see it over my shoulder here. New York Times bestseller. He's from Stanford. He created this program, created a book. It was so successful that he then created an app, which is amazing. And now he has a coaching program. And here's the thing, Christy. During COVID, I was a client. I went through this program. And I will tell you what, it changed my life. This program changed my life. And here's why. I had a temper and I had little to no patience my entire life. And it hindered me all the way through as a kid, in sports, during my career, my relationships. I was a knee jerker. I went from 1 to 10, right? So anybody at home watching can relate to that. It's no fun, right? And here's the thing about it. There was no space. So there's a famous quote by Viktor Frankl, and he's a famous psychologist. And he says, between stimulus and response, there is space. And it's in that space that we have our power to choose our response. And within our response lies our growth and our freedom. What I love about this quote is that he talks about the space. When you have the space, you can choose your response. But if you don't have the space, you're knee jerking and you're putting your foot in the mouth, right? You're saying and doing something that likely you will regret, which that was me and probably many people. So what it comes down to is space. And that's what positive intelligence did for me was I built an internal pause button. So now, Christy, I come into every situation and I just stop. I don't knee jerk. I don't pause. I don't say a thing. The people that knew me when I was growing up say, who are you? It's beautiful. I just come in calm. I have no judgments. I am not reacting.
Mhm.
Heck, I'm not even responding. I'm just active listening. I'm calm, peaceful, and I'm just taking in the information. That took some work, and that's the training. That's mental fitness. So mental fitness is all about catching all of that negativity and shifting it into a positive,
Mhm.
right? So all those challenges that are hitting you all day long, those challenging conversations with your spouse, your partner, your kids. I got a 13-year-old daughter. There's lots of opportunities there, right?
Yes.
Your colleagues, right? Your direct reports. There's lots of conversations, lots of opportunities to practice these things, but it's all about building that space. So in positive intelligence in this mental fitness program, we are in fact catching the negative responses. It's all the fear, all those inner voices in our head. We call them the saboteurs. And it's like the judge pointing his finger at you. Christy, you're not good enough. You can't do this. Don't try something new. You're going to feel some pain and discomfort. Don't do that. That's those inner voices, the saboteur. So what we're trying to do is recognize, catch, and that's our survival brain that we talked about earlier. And then shift over to our sage brain. Sage is the love brain. And in brain, you're going to experience emotions of curiosity, joy, empathy, calm, peace, creativity, gratitude. Now, I don't know about you. Which side of the brain do you want to be in? I want
Definitely sage.
to be in sage.
Yeah.
So when you're in sage, and I went back to earlier, that mindset, those lenses. Ooh, when you put those sage lenses on, every conversation, every interaction looks a whole lot different.
That's a great
So you start to build stronger relationships, to your point. You don't have those challenges. You don't see them as challenges anymore. And I'll get to that in 1 second. And then you have better performance. And then you have just better overall well-being because you're happier. It's positive intelligence. You're effectively building your positive mindset.
Mhm.
And it's not that, you don't have these negative emotions. We have 80% of our thoughts are negative all day long. The thousands of thoughts we have are primarily negative.
Yeah.
But you can learn to control it and you can learn to shift it. And it goes back to one core concept, Christy, that I love. And this has become my life mantra. And this is from Positive Intelligence. It's called the Sage Perspective. And in the Sage Perspective, you can find the gift and the opportunity in every situation. You can find the gift and opportunity in every situation. So let me give you an example. Just this summer, I spent some time. I have a 28-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter, and we were on vacation. And I hurt my elbow playing pickleball with my son. And so it really threw me off the entire vacation. And I could have stewed on that. I could have been really negative Nancy and oh is me and what am I going to do? Or I could shift. So I shifted my mindset. I said, I need to practice what I preach here. Shift my mindset. Find what is the gift here. And the gift was when I was able to change my lens and get positive about it was that instead of playing other games like we would have played the rest of the trip, we went to the park. So I took my daughter and my son to the park for a 2-hour hike, beautiful national park. We had more quality time, had more conversations on that walk than we would have ever had playing badminton or cornhole or pickleball or ping pong. So that reframe, find the gift. It's all in the mindset. And when you change that mindset, everything changes. So I went from, oh, is me negative? How am I going to deal with the rest of this trip to, oh my gosh, I just made a magical moment with my family because I changed my mindset. That's how simple it is, Christy. This is all very simple stuff. We just need to be cognizant of it.
Yeah.
Be open and curious enough to say, okay. So yeah. And I know there's someone saying, Todd, yeah, right. How are you going to find the gift in this X, right? There are there's some tough things. There's some big challenges, but I guarantee you, just be open enough to say, I know it's in there. I just need to just dig a little bit deeper to find it. it will change. It'll change your whole life if you have that lens and that perspective.
Yeah. Did your kids respond? Did they make any observations about that? Did they notice?
Yeah, they loved being in the park. My daughter said it was one of the best times she's had, and she would never want to go to the park with me. They wouldn't have went with me had I not had a bum elbow.
Right.
So it was like, guys, I want to do something together. Will you come to the park with me? Knowing that I really can't do all these other sport activities that we typically would do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, it took me to lead that by finding the gift and saying, okay, well, what if we did something else? Mm-hmm. What if? Asking that question. So yeah, we can apply this to everything. And it's a reframe. And that's what we're talking about is a reframe. And I talk about, you can apply it to it and say, oh, I have to, or, oh, I get to. So think about an I have to statement. And I just did a keynote speech for a caregiver conference last week. So I was talking to all these folks that were caregivers. And I said, okay, I'm now a caregiver. My folks are now in their 80s, and my mother's just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I'm now a caregiver. So I could, I have to take care of my mom. I don't have time. Another thing on my plate. I'm already so busy. Or I could reframe and say, I get to spend more time with my mom as she needs me. I get to reciprocate that love, support, and affection that they gave to me all those years. It's just a reframe. So you could sit there and be miserable, is me, right? And change and fear, or you can be open and curious enough to just change your mindset and reframe it. Reframe your statement from, I have to, I get to, and watch how your whole life changes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm a caregiver as well, although I'm profoundly grateful that my mother does not have any dementia. So my I get to has been, I get to know my mom as a real person at this phase in her life. And, we get to have this relationship that most mother-daughters don't get to have.
Right. And that's beautiful, right? I mean, it is. And we were in this room and everyone, they loved it because they were in the same situation and probably thinking the same thing. I don't have the time. I'm going to make the time. They need me, and I want to be there for them. And I'm getting more time with them than I probably would have, right? Because we take everything for granted in this society. And, my parents are there. They live 10 minutes away. They'll be there. I can visit them anytime. Yeah. But do you call them? Because we take it for granted that they're just going to be there. Well, now I'm kind of forced to. I've been promoted to caregiver, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyhow.
Well, I have a challenging situation for you because I would love the mind shift on this. Although, and I want to see if it kind of goes with what I've already done, but I'm interested in what you say.
Yeah, let's go.
My brother is married to a hideously narcissistic, violently narcissistic woman, and we have had to cut him off because he's so mean. And now he's to the point where he won't even call my mom on her birthday. So my reframe for my mom has been that, maybe this is good. Maybe you need to let him be on his path so he finally grows up. But what's your take? Because complicated relationships with, there are lots of people out there who are in violent relationships, and that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. And what I would say is if they would be open to mental fitness coaching, because part of having a temper, right, and not having patience all leads to that, right? And that's the space. We need to give ourselves the space. And there's some root causes there, right? So if you could learn to train, and essentially what I did, Chrissy, was I rewired my brain. Neuroplasticity. I laid down new tracks because I did it. I did the mental fitness exercises for so long that I created new habits. And these are lifelong. And that's the beautiful thing about this program that's different than most other programs that are just insights with no action. I've literally rewired. If I took an MRI, you would see new gray matter because I've done all this work.
That's amazing. So then, okay, say you're in that situation.
Yeah.
And it was your brother, you know.
Yep.
How could you help your mom?
Yeah, great.
Rewire that.
Yeah, so I would see if he would be open to some mental fitness coaching. Maybe not, right? Most people aren't. But what you can do, I don't say this is a trick, but you can use it's like a mirror.
Oh.
So basically it's the contagion effect. Mm-hmm. So if you come in extremely positive, it's going to mirror onto him eventually, right? So if he's coming at you always negative, 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 if you can combat it, it's called a 3-to-1 psychology concept. It takes 3 negatives to overcome 1, or 3 positives to overcome 1 negative. But so if you can come in hot with positivity and that neuron effect, right? That mirror neuron effect, then they will start to, they don't have any other choice. But if you match it, right? If you come in negative, because you know they're coming in negative, and I've done that. I have some people in my life like that. It's a lose-lose. We're just going to stay negative. So you have to combat it.
That's awesome. That would apply to any situation where you're encountering negativity.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
The 3-to-1. That's how powerful it's crazy and sad, honestly, how powerful negativity is. But we have some tools, mental fitness, 3-to-1, reframe. These are all pretty simple. You just have to apply them.
Love it. Oh, I could talk to you for days, Todd. This has been amazing. But right now, how can people find you in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. You can scan the QR code and go right to my contact page. You can go to my website, toddbertsch.com. I'm on most of the social media channels at The Bolt with Todd B. And yeah, reach out, connect with me on social or email me. I'd love to meet new people, and I love to just hear about your story. We all have a story, right? And every journey is different. We're all capable of change, right? It's evolution. That's how we were built. We're all capable of it. We just need to ignite our spark. We all have the spark. We just need to ignite it. And that's what I love to do, is I want to help people get to where I am, because I know I was at the bottom, and I know that you can get to the top. You just need somebody. You need that boost of inspiration. And hopefully that's what this show is today, and all of the other shows that you guys produce. It's about just being the best person you can be for yourself first, but then it's going to affect everyone else in your life. Don't you want that? And then there's all these positive effects, mental, emotional, physical. You'll live longer. You'll be happier. I don't know, but sign me up, Christy. I want it.
Sage brain.
Sage brain. The love brain. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Todd, thank you so much. We just loved having you on the show today. We really appreciate all your tips. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here. Appreciate everything you guys are doing. Have a great evening.
You as well. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is tip number 4. Today, we're going to start with glue. Please, no liquid glue. No glitter glue. It's liquid. Anything like this spills, makes a huge mess, difficult to clean up, very distracting. Instead, go with the glue sticks. Yes, they still get sticky, but they're washable. They don't make a mess. They don't spill. And if a glue stick dries up, they can just grab another one. The next thing, pens. Now, you probably don't want to give young pens, but once they're to grade 3, they're going to probably want to start using them. Gel pens, wonderful. They glide across the page. It's much less fatiguing for little hands that are learning fine motor skills. They come in a lot of colors, although do please get the blue and black, which are the standard for writing and doing homework and things like that, because the other colors tend to be too light. Also, I do advocate for erasable pens. I know some people don't, but I personally like them because I've worked a lot with kids that need to erase a lot. And by the way, back to the white gum erasers, work really well with erasable pens. I think that they're a handy cross between a pencil and a pen that help kids transition from pencil to pen. Next up, scissors. Do not buy adult-sized scissors for your kids that are young. This is a terrible accident just waiting to happen. Get the safety scissors. They have them in right-handed and left-handed. They usually have the rounded tip. You can get them a little bit bigger for the older kids that still have the safety feature on them.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. I hope you like today's episode on change. And I was sitting in the back and me and Minna were saying, wow, there are so many things that Todd were talking about that we have heard in another way, but each time you hear it from a different coach and their perspective, it gives you that aha moment, right? It's like, what do you talk about? 3 positives to nullify 1 negative. That's the first time I heard that. And that actually makes sense because, he was talking about how he used to be angry when he's younger. Well, Minna could say that's how I used to be. I used to be just fire up just like that, like a firecracker. And that's because in my family, I grew up in a very negative environment and it was almost a competition. Who's going to be louder? Who's going to be more negative to win the argument? But now it's like, hey, 3 positives to drown that 1 negative. I like that.
Yeah, there's all the positive I give to you.
Right. What are the things that you think that was really good from his interview?
I think Todd gives us a really different perspective on making changes and the mental fitness that comes with it. Because really change, what's holding us back in changing for the better is in our mind. It's never something that we need, right? So yeah, I think he's very helpful. I love it.
Yeah, and getting into that sage mindset, I love how he talked about that. We're always talking about framing for the positives, like me and Minna. We have so many negative things that happen in our life, but we say, oh, that happened for a reason. There had to be a good reason for that to happen, and we always find it. It may not be apparent right away, but like Todd says, if you're always searching for the positive when something negative happens, life changes, and there is change.
So we're wrapping up season 3.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up season 3. Please join us next week. Next week, when we kick off season 4. But before I say that, make sure you reach out to Todd. There is his contact information. Scan his QR code. Reach out to Todd if you want to change your life. But next week, we are kicking off season 4. And we are going to kick it off slightly different because we're going to have a panel discussion with a few of our Chronic Health Collective coaches, peeling back the curtain to talk about what we're going to be doing about, what we're going to be talking about during masterclass. So it's going to be an exciting way to kick off season 4. Please don't miss it because we are going to be giving you many opportunities for change next season. That's it for this week's Chronically Healthy Life. Thank you for sharing this space with us. We're honored to be part of your journey toward healing, hope, and of course, longevity. Join us again Friday at 7 p.m. CST on e360tv.com, on the Vitality TV network, or of course you can watch all replays on our YouTube channel, youtube.com at Chronically Healthy Life.
And of course, you want to look as good as you feel, check out our new skincare line at coolness.com.
And book a free 30-minute consult with me at longevitywithandy.com. And until next time, stay vibrant, stay strong, and of course, stay chronically healthy. We'll see you next time.